and it's it's definitely a unique sniffer. Because of recent changes to the way Adblock works, YouTube is unable to count views of people using Adblock to watch YouTube videos on computers. If you'd like to help me and the channel, please temporarily disable Adblock for these videos or watch from a device without Adblock so your view is counted correctly. Thank you and enjoy the video. Hello, goodbye, and hello again. Welcome back to Drifter Carbon and to Spooky Ducktober and to another Minecraft Texture Pack review. Today we're taking a look at Backrooms 1.1 by A30X1. And this is kind of a funny case because the pack used to be called something else and so did the creator. Not sure what's going on there. Just thought you should know. Also, the link to the trailer doesn't work. There is no active trailer for this pack anymore. We will go ahead and scroll down. So this is obviously based on the Backrooms phenomena. Here's what the avatars look like, the skins. This one's just kind of blank. So yeah, there's some definitely monstrous looking skins here and some backroom skins, you know, the hazmat suits that you would expect in various different colors. Strangely, it doesn't see... Oh, there's the yellow one. Okay, so there is a default one. Anyway, those are okay. There's nothing too crazy or fancy about those, but we will go ahead and jump on in. Also, I forgot to mention this in my intro, but this pack is 310 Minecraft coins, which is pretty cheap for something with custom geometry on the models, you know, on the mobs. And it's 27.8 megabytes, not 270 megabytes. It's 27.8 megabytes. Anyway, let's look at the mobs first, since that's kind of one of this pack's claim to fame. Here's the chicken. Now this pack is not new enough to have the warm or cold variants. This pack was updated recently enough for the pitcher plant to be in it and the sniffer, but not for the trial chamber stuff. As you can see here, those are default. But here's the chicken, which is a kind of a wild looking chicken. It's got arms and claws and teeth, because you know you got to pull your chicken teeth, right? And horns as well. That's definitely one of the more fun monster chickens I've seen in Minecraft. These bees are huge, by the way. Huge and intimidating. Very, very monstrous bees as well. There is the cow. I guess it's just kind of demonic looking. Didn't do as much with the cow. It's not, it doesn't even seem to be custom geometry. I'm not sure why the cow would be different. Maybe they're trying to keep it the same for the mushroom. I'm not sure. Here's the pig. Kind of a fun pig, yeah. I guess it's kind of alien-like, if I had to classify it as something, or maybe just monstrous. Here's the sheep, which has 3 heads and kind of a wide body to accommodate that. That's what it looks like when you shave the sheep, when you shear the sheep, I should say. But kind of, you know, I like that they're doing some weird things with the mobs. 3 heads is definitely stands out. Here's the wolf and wolf armor. Looks like the wolf armor is not working. So that makes me think that this pack was updated recently enough for the sniffer, but not for the armadillo, which is a small period of time, small window in there. But these dogs are kind of cute, I guess. They look kind of like Rottweilers. So whoa, the polar bear are like bear bots or something. I'm not sure how else to describe this. They're tall bear suits. It's almost like something out of more in line with what I would think from Five Nights at Freddy's than from Backrooms. But I'm not hugely familiar with the Backrooms lore, so you know, maybe that's normal. I don't know. This is the ocelot. We're seeing a lot of these like humanoid versions of the mobs, which is kind of strange. Here's the cats. So yeah, they're just kind of different color schemes of the same model there. The ocelot is taller than the cats are for whatever reason. Kind of weird though. Mushroom. Mushroom is just default other than the mushrooms. This is what the bat looks like. I kind of like that. I'm not sure what's going on with that bat, but it's kind of demonic, I guess, or kind of I don't know. You know, again, aliens, demons, whatever you want to call them. What's going on with the parrots? These are the parrots, and they're very strange. They almost remind me of oh, what's the name of the dinosaur in Jurassic Park that has the frills around its head? Yeah, that's what those guys make me think of, but they're just wings. I guess their wings just stick out. They don't fold up. And it's got like little legs sticking out of the front of it. That's a very strange parrot. I'm spending too much time on each mob. Here's the rabbits. They have kind of frilly ears. Here's the llama. What is going on with these llamas? They have like dots on their faces and their necks. Are they like stitched together, or I'm guessing that's what we're seeing here? Not entirely sure. Here's the horse. It has a different geometry as well, but it's still relatively horse-like. There's the horse and horse armor. They get this kind of skeletal armor on them when they have their horse armor. The donkey's head is on fire. That's unique. At least the donkey and the mule are different from each other in this pack. Very few packs actually had the donkey and the mule be different. Skeleton horse. Here's the zombie horse. Jump in with the fish. Does look like we have some custom geometry on the fish. They're kind of skeleton fish, like skeleton, almost shark-like. Got some big teeth on them. Here's the cod. Looks very similar to the tropical fish. Slightly different, though. The puffer fish. We'll have to jump in there with them, watch them puff up. That's the most normal-looking mob that we've seen so far. The salmon, however you wish to mispronounce it. This is what they look like. They're just kind of big versions. That's a little disappointing that they didn't have different models for the different fish. But here's the dolphin. Ignore the other fish that are in here. That's what the dolphin looks like. It's kind of dinosaur-like. Almost like a mosasaur or something. The sea turtle is walking around on its hind legs. I've never seen that happen before. So yet another monstrous version of a mob that is normally just an animal, but is kind of bipedal. Panda, similar to the polar bear. It is sort of an animatronic panda person. Here's the fox. Okay. They're little. They look more. I guess kind of like demonic cows than or bulls than pigs. Oh, check out this creeper though. I do like the creeper. That's a lot of fun actually. That's sort of almost Aztec-like or you know, like some of those designs, some of those creatures. Sort of a winged serpent, almost a Quetzalcoatl. Here is the Enderman. He looks like something out of the Backrooms. Appropriately enough. Here we have the silverfish. Just kind of looks like a face hugger, if you ask me. Skeleton. Just pretty basic skeleton. It's got like jewelry on. Here's the wither skeleton. It seems taller than usual. The stray just looks default. I guess it's got like a necklace on or something. The slime looks default or very similar to default. What is up with these spiders? That's amusing. It's got like tambourines. It's like the cymbal monkey, except it's a spider. You know what I'm talking about. Here's the zombie. Okay. It's pitch black. Bogged is too new. The husk is similar to the zombie, but the drowned are different. The drowned look completely different from the other zombies, which makes me wonder if the zombies are just broken. It might be that their textures aren't rendering properly, or maybe that's just supposed to look like that. Here is the squid and glow squid, and they're pretty fun. They've got some interesting geometry going on there with the mouth on their heads that open and close as they swim. Here's the witch, which is the smiley guy. So, oh, and its mouth opens and closes, so it's got some animation. It's not just, you know, it's not static. Its head actually has some character to it. I think that's a better representation of this character than we saw in the other Backrooms texture pack. Here's Guardians. There was the camel last time. The camel was the smiley man. That's not his name. I can almost guarantee that his name is not Smiley Man. Here's the Guardian, Elder Guardian. They have kind of an interesting, like Kraken-like appearance, which is kind of a different approach. Let's go ahead and spawn an Endermite. Oh, that's a very different Endermite. It's not always easy to tell what the mobs are supposed to be in this texture pack, but at least they're interesting. They're well designed. Here is the magma cube. It is default, which, you know, a lot of packs don't bother to change that. The Strider seems to have eyes on the back of its head. What does the front of it look like? No, maybe that is the front of it. Yeah, that's the front of it. Okay. And it's got like 6 legs. Kind of funny. The Zoglin, the zombified Hoglin. Definitely got some skeletal features here, but it's like bulkier than usual and has more going on, more layers to it. The Zombie Piglin and Zombie Piglin Brute. There you go. Looks like something out of a fantasy pack, sort of. Something out of, like almost Skyrim-like in nature. The goat. Not entirely sure what's going on with the goat here. I don't think the goat is working. Its legs don't seem to be going anywhere, and it's like its limbs are like folded up into it, like it was supposed to be a bipedal creature or something. That may be broken. There's a couple of mobs that I'm like, is this broken or is this how it's supposed to look? What is this? This is the axolotl. They're kind of three-headed plant monsters. Definitely a different approach for the axolotl. Here's the allay. I like it. I like it. They're kind of anglerfish with tentacles. Not what I would have expected for an allay. Here's the frog. See if we can actually get around where we can see them. They're huge. Creepy looking frogs. There is the wandering trader and their llamas. It's wearing a hazmat suit with a respirator. The camel. These packs always have something weird with the camels. Let me go ahead and ride on one of these and then turn around here where we can see. Hold on, there we go. That's what it looks like when you're riding the camel. Excuse me, camels. The happy gas stuff is too new, of course. Here's the blaze. There you go. It's kind of a fire demon. It actually looks more like it would be like you would expect the breeze to have kind of a body like that, except it's the blaze. The ghast is tiny, which is better than being huge because at least its hitbox will be bigger than its 3D model, but that is another broken mob there. Here is what the shulker looks like. They're just sort of faces in their boxes. The Vindicator, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it's not supposed to look like that, but I could be wrong. No, that's got to be broken because it's got like one arm. Yeah, I don't think that's rendering right. The Evoker is... Are you just a dude? You're kind of a dude wearing a mask. Okay. The Villagers, pretty much what you'd expect. They're wearing their hazmat suits. And they have a couple of different colors. So there you go. At least there's some variety. Zombie villagers, they're just sort of tattered versions of the villager. The phantom actually has legs. It's more bird-like than usual. The pillager looks more like an enderman than it does a pillager. Interesting. Not necessarily what I would have gone with, and I'm not entirely sure. Oh, that's supposed to be the I believe that entity is named Kitty. I apologize for my lack of knowledge on Backrooms stuff. It's been a long time since I played any of the Backrooms games, and I think the one that I played back in the day was just a more basic one. Here's the Ravager. It's got blades for feet and big blades coming off of its horns. I kind of like that Ravager design. The Iron Golem and damaged Iron Golem. You can tell how damaged it is. Didn't do anything wildly unusual with the Iron Golem. Or the Snow Golem with its pumpkin carved off. That's a different looking pumpkin, but not sure what's going on there. Here's the Sniffer, which is the newest mob in the pack. And it's it's definitely a unique Sniffer. I've definitely never seen a Sniffer that looked quite so naked mole ratty. Armadillo is too new. Here's the Warden. That's like I think it was like entity something, some number they were saying on the description for the page, description for the pack. That's what the Warden looks like. It's got 4 legs, and it moves its head around when it sniffs. Breeze is too new. Here is the Wither, which is the no, there it is. Okay, it's a like a Grim Reaper type character. Alrighty, sure. Creaking is too new, and of course the Copper Golem is too new because those just came out. Okay, let's go ahead and head on back. Okay, I showed this off earlier, but I did not comment on it. The portal is almost entirely invisible. I meant to say something about that before. It's got kind of little glyphs and stuff that get sucked into it. Here's a bench. Here's a water cooler. Let's look at things that grow. So we're looking at the blocks now. This is what the trees look like. The Pale Garden stuff is too new. Yeah, the baby trees are pretty decent. Some of them, like this one, I'm not sure why, but I'm not overly fond of the way that looks. I think it's a little low detail. Here's the mushrooms. Got some fun mushrooms there. Again, this is the pumpkin and the carved pumpkin, and they and the jack-o'-lantern, and they have kind of a different look to them, almost like Japanese lanterns. There's the pitcher plant. Here's the wither rose. This is the rest of the flowers. They're fine, but they're kind of, you know, low detail or low pixel count. Here's some of the hanging stuff. Oh, here's what the composter looks like. Different Stages of compost. Oh, so some of the trees have like animation on them. Let's see if we can get it to do it again. There you go. That one's got eyeballs on it, but I didn't see that on the other tree trunks. So that may be the only tree that is alive. Let's see if any of the rest of these have animation. No, I don't think they do. All right. Well, at least there's one animated block in this pack. Here's what the planks look like. We do have, okay, this is one of the Backrooms textures here. You got a couple of colors on that. So that's where you would find some of these Backrooms wallpapers that you would be expecting to find in this pack is their planks. You can definitely tell how suspicious your suspicious sand and gravel are. Here's the dirt, sand, gravel, and moss. Very, you know, like a decent level of detail with the dirt and sand and so forth. Here's sandstone. Here are stone and stuff. Again, you know, at least the textures are different from each other. They're not like reusing textures so far. That's what the bedrock looks like. It doesn't look like there are variations on blocks in this pack. Cobblestone, polished stone. Here's bricks. Didn't do anything crazy with the bricks. Here's stone, bricks, blocks, etc. These are pretty good. Glass. So all of the glass have just sort of the little squares in the corners. So a little bit of detail. There's the wool, concrete powder, concrete, terracotta. Oh, that texture looks maybe that's supposed to be okay. That's supposed to be like the bottom of the wall with like a border at the bottom. So you would use this this terracotta for this for the bottoms of the walls. There's a few of them here that would make sense as bottoms of walls. Because you got like the board at the bottom. Here's glazed terracotta. Hold on, I saw some sort of animation. Yeah, okay, we got a repeat animated texture from one of the trees. So one of the glazed terracottas has that same texture. Here's ore. Pretty decent ore. You can tell the difference between it and the regular stone. Here's nether ore, deep slate ore, amethyst. Here's our random lonely magma block. It does have a little bit of animation. The sponge. Now, you might be able to tell the difference between the wet and the dry sponge, but I can't. I am colorblind, so that may be entirely on me, but I would like some more contrast between the wet and the dry. I'm sure there's a difference. I'm just not seeing it. Here's your light sources. The bulbs are too new. There's the campfire. Miscellaneous light sources. Here's the signs. We do have a few different textures on the signs, some of which are like the wallpaper design. So, you know, I don't know whether that amount of repeated texture bothers you or not. But I suppose you could stick that sign against the pink wall and have it. Oh, we've got like on the hanging signs, we've got a caution sign, an exit sign, a closed sign, and an open sign, and the rest are more normal. Monster spawner. Here's fences and gates. Didn't do anything wildly different with those. There's the walls. They're looking pretty normal. Dried kelp block, diamond, lapis, gold, emerald, and redstone blocks. Here's the iron block. Raw copper, gold, and iron. Lodestone, prismarine. We have slime block. It's got kind of a swirly effect to it. Honey, hay bale, bone block looks different than usual. Here's quartz. Copper, some of which is too new. There's the ladder. Here's the doors. We'll focus on the bottom row since the top ones are too new. There you go. I'm not sure what doors are supposed to look like in the back rooms, but these are decent enough designs. I might have liked a couple more with windows, but at least you got a few different ones that do. Some of these look almost like locker doors. Here's trap doors. That's interesting. That's almost furnace-like. Or like a vent, I suppose is what they're going for. Bookcases, we will get the spawn egg out of my hand. Here's what the book looks like. Here's the enchanting table. Didn't do anything wildly different with those. While I'm thinking about it, let's look at the UI and the sky. So the UI down here, it's nice and easy to tell which thing is highlighted, which is always nice to see. Kind of a wood grain effect, and the main menu itself is just gray. They didn't do anything too crazy with that. Start off a firework. That's what the effects on the firework looks like. That's the sky. That's the sun. Wind charges are too new. I don't even know why I did that. Oh, the beds have custom geometry on them. They're not wildly different, but they're a little, you can tell they're a little thicker on the base than they are on the mattress. So that's something that's different at least. Here are the crafting tables and villager job tables. Yeah, you can tell what everything's supposed to be. The crafter is too new. There's the block cutter. Here's furnaces and anvils. You can tell how damaged your anvil is, but it might be a little difficult if you don't know what to look for. So I might have liked a little more contrast with the cracks. Cauldrons, things in cauldrons. Here's chests. There is a slight outline on the trap chest, so you can tell the difference. There's a barrel. Here's a jukebox and a note block. Let's go ahead and come over here where the empty armor stand is, and the beacon and the bell. Hold on, trying not to accidentally... Oh, hold on. The spyglass. We will use the spyglass real quick. It looks like... Oh, it's a camera. So that's what they were saying with the camcorder UI. So okay, the camera... I mean, the spyglass is a camera. That was a fun way of incorporating a Backrooms thing into Minecraft. Here's the iron bars. The copper bars are too new. That's what the beam on the beacon looks like. Here are paintings. Unfortunately, this pack has not been updated recently enough to have the new paintings. Hopefully, they will update it at some point. Here's the paintings. As would be expected, you've got a lot of things that are like painted on the wall, you know, scratched into the wall, whatever. You know, the kinds of things you'd expect to see in the back rooms. There's also entrance to the back rooms. Warning, you are entering an active no-clip area. And some more spooky wall writings. There you go. Item frames. You can definitely tell which of the special rails are which. Here's things in minecarts. It looks like the minecarts have mouths. There's Greg riding in a minecart. Redstone stuff. Here's that's what the redstone looks like. Pistons. Here's pottery. So they've got custom designs. I'm not sure what some of these are supposed to be, but they a lot of them look similar enough to default. Some of those are too new. Scaffolding, banners. Here's boats. Boats are not all that special. There's only the original tuff is custom. Trial stuff is too new. Resin is too new. There's the target. Here's the mob heads. That's what they look like. The dragon egg there. Dripstone. Here's lightning rod. The chain. Heavy core is too new. Conduit. And TNT. Fly back over this way. That's what the sea pickle looks like. This is... Oh, seagrass is broken. Tall seagrass is broken, guys. Need to fix your pack, please. Help. Several broken things in this pack. They're gonna have to lose some points for that. Dead coral, live coral, and last but not least, the lily pads. So yeah, I think the blocks are just kind of okay in this pack. There were some things that you know would be necessary for a Backrooms pack, like some of the paintings. And of course, the wallpaper designs that are kind of spread out over a couple of different block types. I would have maybe liked to have seen those be more, you know, one kind of thing. Like have it just be terracotta or just be planks or whatever, you know. But they got them in there, so you can make the Backrooms with this pack. All right, let's go check out the items. Another thing to mention about this pack is that it does have custom music. You've probably been hearing it in the background when I'm not talking. I'm not going to turn it up in case it gets me copyright claimed. It's entirely possible that it will still get me copyright claimed, but we're going to hope that it doesn't. So as you can see with the armor, the leather armor has kind of a hazmat design to it. But the other stuff is mostly just more, you know, default. They've got like one design for the different fancier armors, but I'm not sure why they wouldn't make them look kind of backroomsy as well. They just look like normal suits of armor. There's the elytra and the shield, and again, that was the pumpkin. That's the turtle helmet, the trident, the bow, the mace is 2 new. These are armor trims. These are amethyst armor trims on iron armor, which unfortunately do not show up well. So, you know, I'm sure they would show up better if they were a different trim on the iron armor, or if I had gone with the netherite armor or something instead. But that's what those look like. You can see that the tools mostly have one design and just are different colors. So this is not a pack where they have different tools. The end rod there, these are what the tools and weapons look like in a 2D format. It's the arrows. Here's the respawn compass, the regular compass, and the clock. Those are very 2D looking versions of themselves. As we said, the spyglass was kind of unique though. Here's the horns and the horse armor and the potions. The seeds and the food. Nothing too thematic with any of these so far. I'm looking for anything that stands out. Got some things that are kind of different looking. But, yeah. Somewhere here is a almond water, which is a Backrooms thing. Here's things in buckets. the axolotl in a bucket looks like 3 axolotls in a bucket. But the axolotl was kind of a unique design in this pack. Here's minerals. In there, some I must have passed right by the almond water, but it's in here somewhere. You can look for yourself. But various other items, some of which are 2 new. And the shelves are 2 new. Okay, let's go check out the Nether. All right, here we are in the Nether. Here's what the regular non-zombified hoglins look like. They look similar to the zombified hoglins, just not zombified. They're very bulky. Here is the respawn anchor. Almost looks like it has a face on it. Here's the piglins, the non-zombified version of the piglin. We do have a couple of them, a couple of different outfits on the piglins, so credit where credit's due. They didn't skip that corner, didn't cut that corner. Fly over this way. Yeah, I mean, like, the items kind of really left me wanting, to be honest. I'm definitely going to talk about that more when I get into my review score, but I would have liked to have seen them stand out a little bit. Here's what this other biome looks like. Okay, let's go check out the Stronghold below. Here we are in the Stronghold below template world. Here's what the night sky looks like. That's the moon. Oh, moon's busted. I don't think the moon's supposed to look like that. What's going on there? Yet another thing in this pack that doesn't seem to be working quite right. Let's fly over this way. This is what a villager's house would look like in this biome. There's the villagers again. There's some packs have different designs for the villagers in different biomes, but this one doesn't seem to. Fly over here, look at the cobweb. Pretty standard cobweb. That's what cobwebs look like in a lot of texture packs. What was that over there? Oh, that's one of those weird spider monkeys. Or monkey spiders, I should say. Here's what the ruined portal looks like. I do like the creeper design. That's probably one of my favorite mobs in this pack. Fly back over here and jump into the stronghold. You can definitely see your cats from far away in this pack, because they're tall cat people. Or cat animatronics. Here's what the stronghold looks like. These blocks look pretty good together. No real complaints there. Here's a bottle of enchanting. That's what the swirlies look like on that. The experience orbs are little plus signs. Drink a potion of strength. That's what those swirlies look like. Didn't change the goat horn. Reloading the crossbow. And that's what a sword looks like in your hand. So we're going to go ahead and stick an Eye of Ender in here. Excuse me. There you go. Oh, the Eye of Ender actually blinks. So there's a couple of things that they added some simple animation to. That's what the end portal looks like. All right. Here we are in the end. There's another look at the Endermen. One of the more Backrooms entities in this pack. Fly over here to the end crystal. Oh, that's kind of an interesting thing to do with the end crystal. That's probably one of my favorite things in the entire pack, actually. That's kind of cool. Not sure if that's something from the Backrooms or not, but that's definitely an interesting way to do it. And here's the Ender Dragon. Pretty cool. It's got 3 heads, you know, similar to the sheep. So, yeah. What are my thoughts on this pack? Well, it's kind of a mixed bag, isn't it? Like, you can see for yourself and form your own opinions, but my opinion is that this pack is in desperate need of an update. Not just because it's old, because it's not that old. You know, I prefer packs to have been updated for 1.21 by this point, but at least it's got some of the 1.20 stuff in it. But there's quite a few problems with it. Like the mobs had quite a few mobs that were broken, and some that might have been broken and might not have. But like the Vindicator, the Ghast, and the Goat were definitely looked like they were not functioning at 100%. I don't think they were supposed to look like that. The Seagrass was also broken when it's tall Seagrass. It was like 2 short seagrasses on top of each other. And also the moon looked really weird. I suppose it's possible that the moon is supposed to look like that, and if it is, then I apologize, but if something looks broken, I gotta point it out. So, as far as the blocks go, it had pretty much all of the expected textures, all the textures that I would expect a Backrooms pack to have. But they were kind of spread out in a weird way, where some of them were on the planks and some of them were like terracotta and so forth. which was kind of a weird way for them to have done that. And the rest of the blocks were, the paintings as well were what you would expect from the back rooms. So lots of things scratched onto the wall. But the rest of the blocks were pretty mediocre, honestly. Like, very little of the rest of it stood out to me. The items, the armor was mostly out of theme, if you ask me. I think they could have done something to make make them all hazmat suits or something, or find something else that feels thematically appropriate instead of just having some of them be regular armor. And I thought that the items and tools were a little bland, and didn't really feel like they belonged in a horror pack necessarily. And I went back and I looked for the almond water and I could not find it. That's one thing that they advertise as one of their selling points in the description, but I could not tell you which item is supposed to be that. So, you know, I didn't think that the items were thematic enough overall. As far as the mobs go, there were some wild and on-theme mobs in this pack. Some things that were, you know, that I hadn't seen them before, certainly. Maybe they're all things from the back rooms, and if they are, then all the more credit to them. I think the mobs are the strongest point of the entire pack. And really the main reason that you should be buying this pack, if you buy this pack, is for like a few of the textures and a lot of the mobs. Again, some of the mobs were broken, but as far as like representation goes, I think that this does at least as good of a job as the other Backrooms texture pack I had of having some of the Backrooms monsters in there. And I think they did a better job of having most of the things that would kill you be the kinds of mobs that would try to kill you. But I especially wanted to point out the creeper and the squid and the axolotl as being some of my favorite designs, especially the creeper. I thought the creeper was really special. And as far as the UI goes, it's nice. It's got a nice high contrast item bar, and that's really all there is to say about the UI. Overall, I'm gonna have to give this pack like a 3 because I feel like the Backrooms things that it does pretty well, but there's so many problems with it, and I feel like the overall Minecraft experience of just day-to-day playing Minecraft with this texture pack on is going to be pretty low. You know, because I really did not like the blocks, and that's most of what you're seeing in Minecraft. But you know, if you're looking for a Backrooms pack, do check out my other video that I reviewed last year for that other Backrooms texture pack to kind of compare and contrast the two. I feel like if they can update this again and add in the new stuff and fix the problems that I've pointed out, that it would really be more like a 4. But I just can't bring myself to give it that high of a score when it's in this state. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please leave it a like and please subscribe if you haven't already. And comment down below what you thought of the pack. And also, you know, if you've got a friend who enjoys the Backrooms or who likes horror content in Minecraft, then please share it with them as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Happy Halloween! Peace! Drift Your Garden was filmed in front of an undead studio audience.